us some more. Got a dirt track legend and a beat-up Chevy and a rookie kid that's right foot heavy. He's searching on the high side, looking for some grip. One wrong move and he's gonna let it slip. He's leaning on the cushion, bouncing off the wall. You gotta have the guts if you're gonna have it all. Let the sparks fly high, let the header scream. Everything you got for that dirt track dream. It's a Wednesday night street fight, hammer on the gas, tailing out and screaming, looking for the pass. From the green flag drop to the checkered flags waving. It's a Wednesday night war and the dirt we're craving. No points for pretty, no room for grace, just a bit of bumper and a killer pace. Yeah, we're living for the slide and the engine roar. Wednesday night street fights, give us some more. Hands on the wheel, white knuckle grip, keep the nose tucked in, don't let it slip. Riding the berm, a catfish in the bottom, find a gap and you know we got her. Wash off the mud, fix the bent up tin, just to turn around and do it all again. It's midweek mayhem underneath the lights, chasing down the checkered blue.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this evening as the Dirt Warrior Racing League is back in action here tonight for what is going to be another amazing show as heat race number 1 is ready to go here from the beautiful Lucas Oil Speedway. As each and every one of these drivers hoping to try to find their way up and into victory lane here in our first heat race of the evening. It's Ricky Russell and Cameron Stefanski who will start on the front row. Shane Matthews, Zach Clark, Philip Sexton in the 20 ride back there in 5th. Chad Pooter, Bo Evans, Stefanski, and James Beavers bringing up the rear of the field here in our first heat race of the day as we're looking for the top 2 drivers to punch their ticket into our A main feature event. And so far our pole sitter, that 21 rider Ricky Russell, getting a great launch, great jumping, quickly a good start here in our first heat races. He's going to lead lap number 1 here on the evening. He'll look to try to keep that 2 machine, that Sunrise Racing machine of Mr. Cameron Stefanski back there at base. The 727 of Zach Clark looks to try to work his way up and into that second and final transfer spot here in this A main feature event as the Race and Dirt Race on Ride rolls there in that 3rd position. He knows that he needs to get this spot. He knows he needs to gain this position if he wants to lock his way straight on through to our A main feature event. Then he's gonna have to try and find a little something here in the closing 7 laps of this heat race. And here he is all over the back bumper, little bit of contact. It pushes the 2 of Stefanski up and onto the berm, and unfortunately for the 2 ride of Stefanski, once you kind of hit that berm, it kind of plateaus, flattens out, it unbalances the race car. Good piece of driving, able to catch it, able to keep his foot in the throttle. Unfortunately though, does lose about 3 spots on the speedway, now falling back into that 5th position, but going back after the 20 run, the beautiful Pooterbo machine, the PeaceMaker Gaming Dirt Panda iRacing iFlag DWR number 20 ride of Pooterbo is going to give him back that spot. So for Stefanski, he's back up into position number 4 on the racetrack, as now we do see Philip Sexton. He's going to go to work here trying to see if he can steal position number 2 away from Zach Clark, as Clark still trying to keep himself here in that second and final transfer spot. It's going to be some tight racing as down low Philip Sexton finding some great speed, some great runs, and across the line it's too close to call between the 2 of them, and there's only 3 laps left to go here in this heat race. And don't look now if you're a Zach Clark fan in the stands, because that duo Cameron Stefanski is starting to work his way back into that battle as Shane Matthews, Evans, Stefanski back there duking it out for position number 6 and 7 on the racetrack. That could be a couple rows forward here potentially in our consolation race. So trying to earn each and every spot here, even if you don't lock your way into the A-Main feature event, could set you up for a good start here in our Consi later this evening. But for the 21 of Ricky Russell, he sees that white flag fly last time down the back straightaway as they're door-to-door back there behind him. The 21 looking to try to win heat race number 1 as they'll drag race back behind him. It is Philip Sexton who will steal second place away from Zach Clark, but it is the 21 of Ricky Russell who picks up our first heat race win of the evening. So Philip Sexton and Ricky Russell punch their tickets into the show here this evening. And now here we go. Heat race number 2 going to get loaded into the sim. Now each and every one of these drivers, they'll be looking for the win here in this heat race as we'll get them all lined up, ready to rock and roll. It's starting on the pole in the number 49 ride. That is beautiful looking machine here. The NFG machine, I do believe is what that says. NFB, NFG, I can't quite tell. I think it's NFB potentially. Let's take a closer look at it. No, NFG. Number 49 ride of Jackie Whaley, who will start in that pole position to his outside in the Dirt Warrior Racing number 7 machine. It is Jeremy Aikens starting back in that 3rd position. The 23 ride, that is the Steve's Lawn Care Sunrise Racing White Knuckle Setup Shop. The WP Creative Designs ride of Jacob Stefanski to his outside in the Get a Bumper Motorsports. EJR Cocky Floyd Consulting. Number 18, it's JC Floyd who will start there in 4th. Starting back in 5th, it's the grumpy old man himself in that PeaceMaker Gaming Dirt Panda iRacing iFlag DWR number 57 machine. The slinganddirt.com ride of Jim Revis will start there in 5th. To his outside in that beautiful 518 is Joseph Grandy, and the 357 is Derek Rice bringing up the rear of the field. Stephen Burrow was supposed to be the 8th driver out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, did not load into the sim, and unfortunately did not get able to jump out there onto the racetrack, so we may see him in our Consi later this evening. But out in front, leading us down through 3 and 4, back down and across the line. It will lead lap number 1 here in heat race number 2 is that 49 ride of Jackie Whaley. Now Whaley, he just got a front row seat. He was able to sit there and watch exactly what Ricky Russell did to pick up that heat race win after starting in that pole position for the 49 ride of Whaley. He's hoping for the exact same fate. He wants to be able to lead all 10 laps, lock himself into the A-Main feature event, and with this heat race win, you would be starting on the outside of the front row for the A-Main here this evening. So a golden opportunity here for that 49 of Jackie Whaley this afternoon, and right there with them, that 23 ride of Jacob Stefanski trying to hang on to position number 2 as you do see JC Floyd a little farther back there. Not a whole lot of movement, not a whole lot of drivers trying to navigate their way up and through the traffic here. You do see JC still trying to roll the outside, trying to make his way around this 7 of Jeremy Aikens. It's taken him a few laps, but that time tight down through corner number 3 and 4, and it looks like the 18 of JC Floyd will jump up into 3rd. Now that is not great news if you're Jacob Stefanski, because he's going to see that 18 ride marching him down in a quick hurry as Jim Revis runs into issues. Jim's around, caution flag is on the racetrack. Our first yellow of the evening. Let's take a look and see what happens to the 57 ride of Jim Revis as he's got Grandy on his back bumper. They head down into corner number 3, and there's contact there. Rice sends it in too deep, washes up the racetrack. And as he does, not only makes contact here with Jim Revis, but also some pretty solid contact into that left front of the 518 of Joseph Grandy. Right there, slams the 518 ride. The car straightens out and unfortunately just drives up the track still, clips that left rear quarter panel of Jim Revis, and that puts Revis around. Unfortunately pointed the wrong direction. Caution flag will fly, and that means we'll get them all ready to rumble here for our first restart of the evening. For Jackie Whaley, he's sitting out in front. he's still feeling A-okay here, but this restart, that's going to bring not only Jacob Stefanski a little closer to his back bumper, but that's going to bring J.C. Floyd right back into the mix. You throw in Akins, Derek Rice, Jim Revis, and Joseph Grandy right back tight to your rear bumper here for this restart. So each and every one of these drivers will be hoping that they can get a good launch and a good jump here and hope that they can put themselves into a good position, as it is going to be single file here for these restarts. So single file restart, that's good news for the 49 right of Jackie Whaley. And now if you are that 49, you're hoping to get a big jump, a great launch here. Try to give yourself a good gap between yourself and that 23 ride. And same thing goes for pretty much the 23. He needs to get a good launch. He needs to try to keep that 18 right back there at bay. But J.C. Floyd with a great restart gets it pinned down to the bottom. Stefanski goes to the high side. They'll be door to door down and out of core number 2, but that outside momentum will pay off for now for the 23 ride of Stefanski, but he is right there on the edge of things, and unfortunately going that high up the racetrack, sometimes it just does not work into your favor. It looks like here in 1 and 2 it works really, really well for him. The last time through 3 and 4 did not work out too well for Stefanski, so we'll have to wait and see if he can try to figure that out a little bit better, if he can find that line, and it does look like he kind of improved right there. And now we'll look to see if he can try to maybe even pick up an extra spot, go to work on the 49 right of Jackie Whaley, and see if he can try to steal this heat race win. But again, he goes up the track, basically drops that right rear tire over the banking there. Now he's door to door again with J.C. Floyd as the white flag is displayed. So one more time around here, and if you're Jacob Stefanski, you gotta hit this perfectly. Down through 3 and 4, you cannot make a mistake. You gotta make sure you hit it perfectly. Get a big run on corner exit as they'll drag race back to the line. It is Jackie Whaley who will pick up the heat race win, and it is Jacob Stefanski who will hold on by 2/100ths of a second between himself and J.C. Floyd for that second spot on the speedway. So Jacob Stefanski, Jackie Whaley punch their tickets into the A-Main feature event. Everybody else will go to our consolation races here this evening, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to roll here for heat race number 3. Heat race number 3 is going to get lined up out there on the racetrack, and it's going to look like this. In that Selena Truck Stop 52, number 8 ride, it is T-Jack Tyler Jackson with that pole position for T-Jack. This is a golden opportunity here for him. He hasn't had really good luck here in these random pill draw heat races. He's been starting back towards, midfield to the back of the pack here in these heats. Now he's done a really good job of advancing his way forward and getting a good starting spot in a lot of these races, but I know that this is a golden opportunity here for him to start right there towards the front of the field. A whole lot less work that he's going to have to do to get through this traffic, and he's going to look to try to hold these guys off for 10 laps, the same as we saw Ricky Russell, the same as we just saw with Jackie Whaley. Pole sitter led all 10 laps and won each heat race. He's hoping to keep that trend alive here in heat race number 3, as T-Jack will start there on the pole. To his outside, his Dirt Warrior Racing League teammate, the 71, William Hargraves, will start there in position number 2. Starting back in third in the 19 ride, that is Dakota Brown. To his outside in the 101 is Jacob Sexton. Starting back in fifth, that is Jeremy Sexton in the 2020 with Evan Monaghan to his outside. Dylan Simmons in the 33 and the TNT Racing, actually J&T Racing number 2 machine of Ty Ralph back there in position number 7. As T-Jack, though, great launch, great start, able to get the run that he was hoping for, and early on he's able to try to open up, half a car length lead now between him and his teammate, and he wants to see that DWR ride of Hargraves right on his back bumper, virtually in that second position all the way throughout this heat race. He knows that not only does he want to get a good run and win this heat race, obviously make him feel a lot better, safer, a whole lot, more comfortable out there on the racetrack, knowing that it's a teammate back behind him and not one of these other young guns that are trying to work their way up and around him here and potentially hinder his chances to try and reel in Jeremy Sexton here for some of his points lead coming into this race. Jeremy Sexton did have a pretty decent points lead between him and Tyler Jackson, so I know for T-Jack, he's looking to gain those points for the 2020 run. He doesn't want to give too many points back to that 8 machine, so he'll be looking to try to work his way up and through the field. As coming into this race, I do believe the gap had grown to about 25 points between Jeremy Sexton and Tyler Jackson here early on the season. So, and the big thing for T-Jack is his average start throughout our first 4 or 5 races has been 10th. Here for Tyler Jackson. For Jeremy Sexton, his average start has been the 6th position. An average finish for both drivers has been in 2nd. They've both been really, really close together. Jeremy has gotten an additional win, and obviously for Jeremy, he's gotten a lot of those bonus points as well. He's gotten a lot of most laps led, fastest laps led, and everything else to be able to put himself, you know, that much farther ahead of Tyler Jackson here. And talking about the DWR teammate on T-Jack's back bumper, not only out there on the racetrack, but also in the point standings here. Will Hargraves sits in position number 3 here in the point standings. Now, he's quite a bit farther away from Sexton and Jackson out there on the racetrack. Jacob Sexton is right there as well. And four of our point leaders here in the series, Jeremy Sexton, Tyler Jackson, Will Hargreaves, and Jacob Sexton, they're all out there on the racetrack. They are all competing here in heat race number 3. Man, that's an odd one. Not very often do you see 4 drivers out in front of the point standings all in the same random pill draw heat race here this evening. So a little bit of magic out there in the pill draw booth, and we get to see a great show here, as not only do we get to see these guys battle for a good spot and for a transfer position into the A-Main feature event, as there you go across the line, picking up the win. It is Tyler Jackson. T-Jack picks up the win. Hargraves comes home in that second and final transfer spot, meaning Jacob Sexton, Jeremy Sexton, and everyone else will go to our consolation races here this evening, as we'll get them locked and loaded, ready to rumble here for heat race number 4. And it seemed like that heat race went by in a flash. No cautions, not a whole lot of beating and banging, just some good hard racing. And for 4 of our front runners in the point standings, you kind of expected that. You kind of expected just to see good hard running, but right there for Tyler Jackson winning that heat race, he just gained himself, quite a few extra points between him and Jeremy Sexton to kind of eat back in to that point lead here and try to draw a little closer to him. And now for our feature event, Tyler Jackson is probably going to be starting our feature event in that 3rd position when the green flag flies. For Jeremy Sexton, I think the closest he could potentially start here this evening would be position number 9 here. So, that's a big gap. That's a lot of cars, and that could definitely cause damage. You could get into a bad situation, and for Jeremy Sexton, it could kind of hinder his performance in trying to be right there with Tyler Jackson towards the end of this race and trying to minimize any points loss, or just trying to put himself into a good spot here to maybe even get an extra couple points from that number 8 ride, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go here. Heat race number 4, getting rolling out there on the racetrack, is starting on that pole position in the beautiful LaFawn Motorsports number 144. That is Mr. Jordan LaFawn himself here this evening, starting in that pole position to his outside in the Dirt Panda Dirt Warrior Racing Wheeler Metals WR1 number 3 machine. That is Jeremy Vaughn, who will start in 2nd. Back in position number 3 is that 4X of Ryan Howard. To his outside in the 27, that is Chris Peralta. Peralta will start in position number 4 with Tim the Toolman Taylor in the TNT Racing number 99. Ride the Memphis Grizzlies machine there in 5th. To his outside in the 33, that is James Ellington starting in that 6th position and bringing up the rear of the field. It's another TNT Racing ride. That is Cody Ernest in the 88 starting at the back of the pack. As here we go. Heat race number 4 is underway, and for LaFawn, able to get a great launch. Great start here, and now he is looking to do precisely what we saw out of our front 3 drivers here in the first 3 heat races, and that is lead all 10 laps, put it in cruise control, and drive home to a heat race win and start up inside our top 5 here this afternoon for the feature event. For the 144 LaFawn, he's open for that luck here. He's trying to keep Jeremy Vaughn back there at bay. Jeremy had a bit of a rough go there a few weeks ago when we went to Knoxville Raceway, and unfortunately for that 3 machine did not qualify for the A-Main feature event. Definitely gonna hinder potentially his championship hopes this season, but for the 3 machine, he picked it up the last couple weeks, has been getting better and better. Good solid top 10 finishes. He's hoping for a good finish here in this heat race to give himself a good spot in that feature event and try to, get another top 10, maybe a top 5 under his belt here this evening. We'll have to wait and see what Vaughn may have in store for us. He may look to just try to jump up here late in this heat race to see if he can steal this heat race win away from Jordan LaFawn as they start to put a little bit of a gap between themselves and our 3rd place driver is Ryan Howard doing a great job holding on to position number 3. Tim Taylor sits there in position number 4 with Ellington there in 5th. For Chris Peralta, he has fallen back now into position number 6. He's got Cody Ernest right there with him as Ernest sits in position number 7. And we were supposed to have Bryson Collins out there on the racetrack here for this feature, or for this heat race. Unfortunately, I do believe we've had 3 or 4 drivers now that did not jump out here for their heat races, and for Bryson Collins, I do believe serving a suspension from penalty points that he had received weeks prior, so unfortunately won't be able to compete here this evening. I'm not sure if that is still going, if we'll see him back out there for maybe the Consis and then the feature event, but obviously not out here for heat race number 4. And for a driver that was slotted to start in the pole position for Bryson Collins, that's a big loss right there, and that was a big gain for the 144 Jordan LaFawn. He was actually pill drawed to start in that 3rd position, but with Bryson Collins slotted to start in front of him here, that inside lane got to move up a row. That put the 144 into the pole shot here this evening, and he's looking to just use it to his advantage as the white flag has been displayed in 4. The Tommy Gun Customs number 144 Jordan LaFawn, the final time down in through corner number 3, nice and easy out of corner number 4, back down and across the line. It is Jordan LaFawn who will pick up heat race win number 4 here this evening. Jeremy Vaughn will come home in that 2nd and final transfer spot, meaning that Ryan Howard, Tim Taylor, Ellington, Ernest, Peralta, and Collins will all go to our consolation races here in just a little bit, potentially after these guys get off the racetrack. I feel 4 heat races may be the most we're going to have here tonight, and maybe heat race number 5, we'll have to wait and see. No, we are jumping right into our Consi, so all right, consolation time. What are we looking at here, chat? Looks like we are going to be jumping into, I don't know what consolation race this is, because this is showing, okay, D main skipped. Is this the C main? Doing a C main, B main? All right, so looks like C main action time. We're going to get 15 laps. This is almost too small for me to see. Can't see if that's a 9 or and we may have to make this UI bigger, chat. I don't know if my eyes are getting worse or what's going on here. My gosh, I can't see in that. I can't see in that, chat. Is that an 8 or a 9? Where are we looking at here? Where's the UI interface? UI scaling. There we go. Okay, let's bring this up. This is going to make it much bigger. Ignore. There we go. Okay, so it is 9. It is a 9. Okay, so our top 9 will advance here into the feature event from this C main. We'll be looking for 9 from our B main as well to head into our 70-lap feature event. And it looks like we're going to have 10 drivers start this C main. Looks like one driver did not make it out in time here for this start. So it's going to be Cameron Stefanski will start on the pole position. Jacob Sexton will start in second. Chad Puderbo, Jeremy Sexton, our top 4. Shane Matthews and Dakota Proud back in 5th and 6th with Evan Stefanski and Ty Ralph rounding out our top 8 in the JNT Racing number 2 ride. Evan Monaghan and the number 33, Dylan Simmons, will bring up the rear of the field back in that 10th position. Zach Clark, unfortunately, has to start down pit side, and James Beavers has not jumped out onto the racetrack or down pit lane as of yet either. As, Tim says, Zach missed the start. Yeah, he missed the start, unfortunately. Dave Morgan says, let's go Sextons, cheering on the Sextons here in our C-Main consolation races. Here we go. Down and out of corner number 4, the green flag back out into the air here for Cameron Stefanski. As Cameron gets a good launch, great start right here. You look at Chad Puderbo and you look at the beating and banging back there behind him as everybody's trying to work their way through. Everyone trying to put themselves into a good spot here and for that JNT number 2 ride. Ty Ralph, man, he got very close to potentially snagging one of those infield tractor tires right there. Already has some pretty solid right front damage onto that number 2 ride. He'll look to try to keep it rolling and hope not to get any more damage or put himself into any worse situation out there on the speedways. Tim Taylor's in the chat. Tim, what in the world's going on here? The JNT Racing number 2 ride. I thought Ty Ralph was part of the TNT racing team, not the JNT racing team. What in the world is going on here with that one, brother? I'm not in the loop. I don't know what's happening. I don't know the drama, man. Give us the tea. Give us the tea as here we go. Slicing and dicing out in front. Every position is virtually another row forward that you will start here in this feature event. So if you can qualify right here into the show, with this consolation race win, you would be starting in the 9th position of our A main feature event. So trying to put yourself into a good spot and a good line right here to try to put yourself into a bit better of a starting spot has got to be a must if you are Jacob Sexton, if you're Cameron Stefanski, and especially if you're our points leader coming into this race. Jeremy Sexton, every single point is going to matter a lot here this evening. Every single spot will count, so much out there on the racetrack. As Tim says, Ty quit me, I think. Oh, no. He quit you think, says, but I'm about to win me a B main, he says. Ooh, doggy. Well, that's something that Ty is definitely not going to be able to do. He might be able to win a C main, but he's definitely not going to be winning no B main here this evening. So you can get the one up on him out there on the racetrack. As, that's definitely a surprise to me. I took a look at the car as we were going through the starting grid, and I saw, I just saw the what looked to be TNT Racing logo on the side of it, and I realized that's not a T, that's a J there. That kind of threw me through a loop, and now we get the inside scoop, so I'm not too sure who J is. I'm assuming and T is Ty, so I'm not sure who J is, but that's gonna be fun. It's Foxy Chalkin Craft says, peace, brother. It's Jordan, laugh out loud, on my mom's YouTube account. How we doing, brother? How are you, mister? Jordan coming in, showing the love. What is good, my boy? Coming in, showing the love here. Don't lie, Jordan. This isn't your mom's account. This is your account, okay? I figured you be Foxy Chalkin, okay? I know you like your crafts, my boy, so don't lie to us. Don't put that past us here, okay? We know you're Foxy as well, so He's trying to say, oh, it's my mom's account. It's my mom's account. No, 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 no. It's your account. We know it. We know it. How are you, though, Jordan? How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day as we take a look out in front. Jacob Sexton has that race lead. Cameron Stefanski trying to stay in position number 2 here and still battle for this consolation race win, but you see our points leader, the 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton, trying to put himself right in line here. There's only a few laps left to go here in this Consi, so every single spot is another row forward, and if you're Jeremy Sexton, you desperately want to try to pick up these 2 spots. To start in that 9th spot compared to starting, back in, 11th or 13th could be a world of difference in trying to give yourself an opportunity to win tonight's feature event. As now he's going to go to the high side to see Tyrell throwing a big slide job back there in that 4th position. Puderbo's there in 5th right now. Evan Monaghan is the driver on the outside looking in here with the white flag being displayed. It'll be a drag race between Evan Stefanski and Evan Monaghan. It's a battle of Evans back there at the rear of the field, but out in front it's a fight for this 2nd spot as well, and it looks like it'll be the Sextons. Jeremy Sexton comes home with the consolation race win. Looks like Jeremy Sexton will get 2nd away from Cameron Stefanski with Tyrell, Chad Puderbo, Dakota, and it looks like Shane Matthews is going to have problems here on that final lap. And for Shane Matthews, I don't know if he goes around or what may have happened here to the 21 ride, but he was in line. The transfer through into the show, sent it into corner number 3, and it looks like he just gets too low and gets out of the throttle right there and ends up giving to Evans the final 2 spots into the show. So unfortunately, he will not transfer through into our A main feature event here this evening. We'll take a look here at that C main results and really go through them right here in a quick second, as obviously there's a couple drivers that will not advance. Top 9 go into the A main feature event. Everybody else has to go home, as Jordan says, STG, she laugh out loud. She gets crafty. She gets crafty. Yeah, for certain. Hey, nothing wrong with getting crafty. That's for certain. Says, we're doing good, brother. Good to see you, man. Had to take a little break from the sim, but we back for some dirt street stock action. My boy. That's what we like to hear. We love to hear that. We love to hear that, man. As here we go. Obviously, our B-main about to get underway, but unfortunately, Shane Matthews, Zach J. Clark, and James Beavers, their night will come to an early end here this evening, as they did not transfer through into the A-main here today. As we'll get ready now for our B-main here this evening. Starting on the pole, it's J.C. Floyd. To his outside, the 4X is Ryan Howard. Starting back in that 3rd position is Jeremy Akins. Tim Taylor will start to his outside. Starting in position number 5 in that 57 ride, that is the DWR iRacing iFlag machine of Jim Revis. To his outside, the 33 machine, that is James Ellington. And then we do see the number, I believe that is the 518 ride of Joseph Grandy starting in 7th. Cody Ernest in his TNT Racing number 88 will start in 8th. And then we see the 357 of Derek Rice, Chris Peralta, and Bryson Collins will start the rear of the field here in the 11th position for this B main. As here we go, rumbling already, and already we see a little bit of contact, a little bit of... Oh, man, that was a close one right there, unfortunately for Joseph Grandy. Let's take a look back and see this contact. We saw the 57 rider, Jim Revis, was definitely bent out of shape as there's contact right there. Grandy gets in the back end of the 57. They both get checked up, and Derek Rice kind of just stays in the throttle right there. Unfortunately, gets hard contact in and under that 518 ride, kind of hooks him down into the infield. Unfortunately, no caution flag. It stays clean and green, but now we will see the caution flag fly. Yellow flag will come out, as now it's Derek Rice's turn to have some issues. Take a look right here as Rice has some problems. Gonna work for you this evening? Okay, there we go. All right, so the 357 of Derek Rice looks like down and out of, let's see where he we'll see what happens. Looks like it's corner 3 here. I'm not sure if it's front end damage or what, but up through the slick stuff. Unfortunately, loses that rear end. Goes sideways right there. Hard contact again, and unfortunately for Joseph Grant, he just tried to work his way back up and into the fight here for one of these final transfer spots. All of a sudden, he sees this 357 get sideways and all of a sudden slide right down into his lap and just could not avoid him. Get some more damage, more contact there for that 518 machine. So, all right, so the first lap didn't cause a caution flag, but the next lap does, and that means we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to rumble once again here after a quick couple caution flags out there on the speedway. My live button is working, because I don't think it is. Okay, there we go. Maybe that worked. Not sure if that worked or not. Why is this not working, chat? There we go. Okay, we're back to our live standings now, so we can get that back up and onto the board. Not sure why that decided it wanted to be difficult for us, but nonetheless, here we go, getting ready to get back to battle, as Evan Stefanski says, goated broadcaster. I appreciate that, my boy. I appreciate that, showing the love, coming in here and talking sweet words like that. My gosh, you're gonna make me blush up in here, Evan. You're gonna make me blush, brother. As out in front, it is the 18 ride of J.C. Floyd, who sees that green flag fly once again this afternoon, and he's right back into lap pedal and opening up a pretty sizable lead already between himself and Jeremy Akins. Akins just trying to hold on the second here as he's able to work his way around Ryan Howard. Howard slides back to third as here comes James Ellington. Here comes Cody Ernest. And for that TNT Racing number 99, right of Tim Taylor, he's going to slide back into 6th. Jim Revis there in 7th with Chris Parada and Derek Rice in that, right now, that 9th and final transfer spot into the A main feature event. But you see that 357 ride. Pretty significant front end damage here to that 357 machine. And you got to wonder if potentially Bryson Collins or Joseph Grandy can try to take advantage of that, work their way around this 357 ride and steal that final transfer spot from this 357. As Bryson Collins does work to the inside, Joseph Grandy, though, obviously he's going to have some good damage on his race car, not only after that initial contact down through 1 and 2 with him in the 357 and the 57 of Jim Revis, but then that contact again as we saw Derek Rice shoot down the racetrack. But I mean, Rice is doing a great job here, just trying to hang on to position number 9. He wants it. He wants to keep it, but unfortunately, it's going to come with a challenge as Collins continues to work the inside, and it looks like for the 5 ride, he will slide in front of him, so that heavily damaged number 357 of Derek Rice could be at risk of potentially being eliminated here this evening. Same with the RTB number 518 of Joseph Grandy. Is out in front, though, it is J.C. Floyd, who just continues to pull away here, and he's clicking the laps off in a quick hurry. Is down the Lucas Oil Speedway, back straight away. He'll head down and into corner number 3. Nice and easy out at corner number 4, and it is J.C. Floyd who will lead there at the 10-lap marker. So 10 laps in, 5 laps left to go here in this B main. And for the Getta Bumper Motorsports, KR1, Cocky Floyd Consulting, EJR number 18 ride. He is feeling A-OK out in front. No pressure to his back bumper. He is just setting sail out there on the speedway as Jeremy Akins has got a nice comfortable gap between himself and our 3rd place driver, Ryan Howard. Howard even has a good gap between him and our 4th place driver, James Ellington. Cody Ernest back here in 5th, racing with his teammate in that TNT Racing number 99 and 88 machine. They're right here in this fight for that 5th position. Cody Ernest trying to stay in 5th. Tim Taylor's looking to take it away from him, as you do see Jim Revis and Bryson Collins now battling here for 7th and 8th. Chris Parada in that 9th and final transfer spot out there on the racetrack, gonna try and do everything he can here in the closing laps to keep Derek Rice and Joseph Grandy back there at bay, as this is the battle for our 9th and final transfer spot into the A main feature event. Parada's got it. Derek Rice with the damage. Chevrolet is looking to take it away as the white flag is displayed here in our B main consolation race as they head down through corner number 1 and 2 and drag race back down the front, back straight away here here at Lucas Oil. They'll send it into car number 3. Rice down low. The 27 up on the high side. JC picks up that B main win, but a drag race back to the line, and it will be Chris Parada who picks up that 9th and final transfer spot into the show here this evening. So unfortunately for Derek Rice and Joseph Grandy, they will load up their rides and they will join the fans in the stands here this evening for the A main, as there is our B main finals right there, as it says HCK Beagles Racing League. Let's get that changed, chat. Let's get that changed. It's not the HCK Beagles Racing League. It is the Dirt Warrior. There we go. That's going to look a little bit better. The Dirt Warrior Racing League B main standings right there, as, yeah, for JC Floyd, man, just an outstanding run right there, able to pick up that B main win. Jeremy Akins, Ryan Howard, James Ellington, and Cody Ernest, our top 5. Tim Taylor, Bryson Collins, Jim Revis, and Chris Parada in that 9th and final transfer spot. Unfortunately, Derek Rice, Joseph Grandy, the damage that they had too much to really battle too hard there, and obviously it was a tight finish between Derek Rice. He almost got into the show. Unfortunately, he's the first to go here in that B main. So Rice, Grandy, and Stephen Burrow unfortunately will not duke it out here in this 70-lap A main feature event here this evening. Heartbreaker there for those drivers, but man, we're going to get ready for what is going to be a very exciting, very amazing feature event here this evening. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor right now. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the stream for us. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the PeaceMaker family here today. And get ready to duke it out. Get ready to see these guys absolutely give it all they got here for 70 laps of green flag racing here at Lucas Oil Speedway, as we'll get them all locked and loaded and ready to rumble here in just a couple more minutes. We're going to get a quick break in. We're going to get a quick drink, and then we'll get ready to fire these guys up for our A main feature event in just a couple more moments.
The sun drops low and the lights kick on. Midweek madness till the break of dawn.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go. As our main feature event is about to get underway, and for these drivers, 70 laps of green flag racing here from Lucas Oil Speedway. You're in the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights, as starting on the pole in the number 21, it is Ricky Russell, who will bring us to the green flag here this evening. Starting in position number 2 in the NFG number 49, that is the 304 Roots ride of Mr. Jackie Whaley, starting there in second. Starting back in that third position in the number 8 ride, it is the Piss Young Man. It is that Selena truck stop. Number 8, it is the Dirt Warrior Racing League's machine of Tyler Jackson. Starting there in third to his outside, and LaFawn Motorsports Tommy Gun Customs number 44. 144, that is Jordan LaFawn, starting in position number 4 here this evening. To his, well, what's going to be that 5th position will be the 20 ride. That is the Doghouse Chassis Sexton Paint and Body number 20 of Philip Sexton. To his outside will be the number 23 of Jacob Stefanski. Starting in position number 7 in the 71, that is Will Hargreaves with Jacob Stefanski, Jeremy Vaughn, Jacob Sexton, and JC Floyd rounding out our top 10, and then we run into the rest of our B main and C main drivers as we end all of the anticipation with our feature presentation. As quickly Ricky Russell out in front, but here comes Tyler Jackson deep down low. T-Jack looking to take the race lead away, and here in lap number 1, it is the Dirt Warrior Racing League's J-Pat Graphics number 8 ride of Tyler Jackson, who jumps out to the race lead, and for a driver that sits second in the point standings, is looking to try to gain as many points as possible here this evening. Jumping out to the early race lead, not an awful idea, but you gotta be careful. You do not want to burn yourself up. You do not want to kill your tires early in this race and put yourself behind the 8 ball here later on, as we do know that a driver that is in our points lead, sitting back there a little deeper in the field, started in the 11th position, still rolling in about the 11th position. This 2020 of Jeremy Sexton going to be looking to navigate his way up towards the front. We do see JC Floyd. He is rolling on that high side lane. He is looking to find as many positions as possible as the Get Up Bumper Motorsports Cocky Floyd Consulting number 18 machine. Man, he's a man on a mission right now, just zooming on that outside groove. He's going to work right to the outside now of Mr. Jacob Stefanski. Now you do see Mr. Jeremy Sexton down low. He's going to be able to work his way. He somehow found a lane underneath that 3 machine of Jeremy Vaughn. Vaughn will slide back, and Jeremy Sexton will join us inside of the top 10. Cameron Stefanski back there in 12th with Ty Ralph in 13th. And then we do see Ryan Howard, Jeremy Akins, James Ellington, and Cody Ernest back there in 16th and 17th. Chad Puderbo, Tim Taylor, Dakota Proud rounding out our top 20. Back in 21st, it's Dylan Simmons with Evan Stefanski, Evan Monaghan, Chris Peralta, Bryson Collins, and I do believe it is Jim Revis at the rear of the field. Jim, unfortunately, had just ran into some issues. Looks like he has gotten around in our first caution flag of this feature event here this evening. So our first yellow flag will be displayed. A sneaky suspicion it may be the 13E of Evan Monaghan. May getting into the back bumper here, this 57 ride, as Jim sends it into the corner, has to jack up for the 22 of Evan Stefanski, and as he does, unfortunately, for the 13 ride, just could not, I don't think he realized that Jim was going to have to lift right there, trying to carry as much momentum and speed around the corner. Obviously, Jim is too, but sees the 22 a little bent out of shape, has to get checked up. 13 ride, can't get up and out of the way of the 57 in time, and that just, jacks up the rear end, spins that 57 around, and unfortunately for Bryson Collins, he's going to drive right head on into that Dirt Warrior Racing Grumpy Graphics number 57 machine. So, A little bit of contact, a little bit of damage there for the 5 and the 57. And now for all these drivers, we'll get them all lined up and ready to go back to battle. Here is the main trying to get back underway here. We'll have to wait and see if we can get these drivers all loaded back up and ready to rumble. As bear with us here. I don't know why the live button doesn't seem to want to work right now for us on SDK. So that's an interesting thing. Normally it just automatically jumps right back into the live action, but now it seems like it's struggled a little bit, so we may have to just keep on, fast forwarding there. But we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to rumble here for our first restart here in this feature event. As Tyler Jackson, he's got the race lead. It is Delaware file restart, so for the 8 ride, he will have this front row all to his lonesome. Everyone else back behind him will be stacked up door to door here for the restart. So for the Selena 52 truck stop, he is going to have to try to find a little something here. Hope to try to get that JPEG graphics right. A nice comfortable lead, but you do see the 49 kind of poked his nose down low. Now there's more contact. Look out, there goes Jordan LaFawn. LaFawn upside down, red flag on the racetrack. LaFawn goes for a wild ride down and out of corner number 4. Man, we've seen this a few years ago when we were here at Lucas Oil Speedway. I believe for our what is that? What is the race? The Turkey Bowl? What is the one we do usually every year here in these dirt street stocks? I'm drawing a blank now for man, now I'm just drawing even more blanks. For the VLR shows, chat, we saw Chris Ferguson do this in a, I can't remember if it was an $8,000 race to win event that year or if it was $10,000, but nonetheless, we saw Chris Ferguson kind of make a restart like this as well. Now, for Jordan LaFawn, he gets a little bit more help because the cars in front of him make contact right here on the restart. For the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson on the far left-hand side, he's got the front row to himself. So he's the prerogative of like when he gets to fire off here, and obviously he tries to get a bit of a jump, but the 49 ride had already kind of stuffed his nose into the left rear quarter panel, and as the 8 kind of cuts down the racetrack, they make contact, and it kind of stacks up Jackie Whaley. It stacks up the 144 Jordan LaFawn, and with that contact, he just comes out of the corner in a weird angle, and obviously for the 18 ride of J.C. Floyd, he's got nowhere to go. He ends up running into the back end of this 144 ride, and for Jordan LaFawn, man, this is a crazy hit right here as he hits that infield tractor tire, and this thing just goes right up and over, lands on top of Jeremy Vaughn. You see a few other drivers into the outside fence. Everyone's scrambling. Everyone's trying to find their way around him, and unfortunately, man, just a lot of tore-up race cars right there, and a lot of drivers that were, having good runs now with some very serious damage. And obviously, the most damage going to this 144 ride, but got to imagine that some pretty solid damage there for J.C. Floyd as well. So this is on board with LaFawn, as here we go. There's the restart. There's the moon, and oh, there's the dirt, and unfortunately, that is not a very fun ride if you're Jordan LaFawn, and unfortunately, that one's really going to hurt him here this afternoon. So we'll have to try to get them all stacked up, racked up, and see if we can try to get things rolling here once again, as that was a crazy incident out there. And now, so we get these drivers stacked back up, ready to roll here once again. We did see a few other drivers run into issues here as well. The 22 ride of this is Evan Stefanski. So this is actually the next restart. So they're going quick now with these restarts. And you see the 19, the 22, they kind of get stacked up. Bryson Cullen's in there as well. And we will see another caution flag come right back out as we are going back to green flag racing. That yellow flag comes out in a quick hurry. Again, the live button just does not seem to want to work, but now there we go. We're caught back up and we're ready to rumble here for another restart, as obviously cautions breeding cautions. And for Tyler Jackson, I don't know if he's going to want to still see door-to-door action or if he's going to want to see this go single file, but I have a sneaky suspicion that we may see some single files here in just a little bit, as it's called a brain fart, Aaron. It's called a brain fart. Okay, I could see that. Maybe a little bit of a brain fart, a little bit of miscue there on the restart. I would call it more of a miscue, maybe not a brain fart, just a bit of a miscue for the restart there. And obviously, that simple mistake takes you from, running up inside the top 4, top 5 to all of a sudden at the back of the pack or down pit side and off the racetrack. Now, luckily enough for LaFawn, he is still battling, but he is back in that 23rd position, and that is not a fun spot to be out there on the speedways. Here we go, back to green flag racing. Great restart this time for T-Jack as Tyler Jackson in that Dirt Warrior Racing Leagues. JPEG Graphics, number 8, right, the Selena 52 truck stop. Number 8 machine out in front. He wants to stay here all night long. Is down across the line. They will complete lap number 10 here this evening. So 10 laps down. Still 60 more laps left to go here in this feature event. There's still a lot of time to work yourself forward or to fall backwards or just to try to find yourself in a good position late in this race. And I think for a lot of these drivers, it's going to come down to potentially tire strategy, especially with the amount of caution flags that we've seen. Now, if we continue to have these yellow flags, these drivers really won't put too much tire wear onto their race cars. And as we talk about a caution, we see another one fly. So another yellow flag. Looks like Chad Peterbow, Ryan Howard going to run into some issues. So Howard is in front of the 20 ride. 4X right here. Let's see if we can get another look at Howard as he's trying to navigate his way through here. And obviously, there you go. Just a little contact there. Chad Peterbow gets in there a little too far. And unfortunately, when he does, he ends up just running into the back end of that 4X ride. Sent it in there too deep, trying to run more of a slider lane. Ends up into the infield. Tractor tire gets pointed the wrong direction. Then we also saw Tyre Ralph almost at the same time also run into some issues here. Now, he's got a little bit more front-end damage here to that 2 ride. I do believe he's going to actually take this thing down pit side here and use up his quick repair. He knows he's got that damage. He knows that may hinder his performance, and he's going to give up that track position, head down pit road and try to get this number 2 machine fixed back up and back out onto the racing surface. So we'll see him go to the rear of the field as he makes his pit stop, rolls back out there, and gets back in line here for another big restart here this evening. Now, cautions continuing to breed cautions, and the Gobbler, Jordan, thank you. I was trying to remember. I could not think of it to save my life, but Jordan Gage in the chat saving us right there. It's the Gobbler. Yeah, in the Gobbler, man. I remember that very, very vividly, man. I remember making that call and watching it. It was Fergie time, and unfortunately, Fergie time didn't even make it back to the start-finish line. And unfortunately for Chris Ferguson's opportunity in the Gobbler that season ended rather quickly right there down out at quarter number 4 as he ran into that orange infield tractor tire, ended his heat race opportunities, and had to go to our consolation races, and unfortunately, I don't believe ended up making it to the show that year. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, man, this is going back now. Heck, what was that? 3 years ago? 4 years ago, Jordan? My gosh, it seems like it's been a while. Did we even do a Gobbler last year? I know they were really behind for the Spring Fling. I feel like the Spring Fling virtually was the Gobbler last year. So I don't know if they're actually doing a Gobbler again, but man, that was a heck of a show, man. Great racing, and if I'm not mistaken, I know Jordan was there. I know he was in it. I can't remember if he ended up winning it or if we ended up seeing maybe Evan C. pick up the dub there. Who ended up winning that one? Now it's a head scratcher, man. I might have to go back. I'll have to go back through the YouTube and see if I can find that, man, or potentially if if VLR saved that on their Facebook. I know Facebook deletes the videos after a little bit, but I do know I have at least a couple clips from that. Maybe if I can go onto one of my older PCs, maybe I can find the replay file of it or something, because, man, that was a fun time, man. That was a hell of a show, hell of a race, and hopefully we get a couple more Gobblers here for these amazing Dirt Street drivers. But here tonight, they kind of got their own Gobbler here in the Dirt Warrior Racing League. Now, it's not $8,000 on the line here for the race winner, and obviously it's a whole lot more pride and really no money at all, but for these drivers, obviously, it's pride, it's passion, it's competitive, it's something fun to do on a Wednesday night here with some of the best street stock drivers that are still rolling out there on the racetrack. And now look out, Jackie Whaley. Contact, he gets stumped on the racetrack, and the caution flag will fly. So it looks like a little contact there between Philip Sexton and that 49 ride of Jackie Whaley. They're running second and third right here. And then we're just going to see down through corner number 1 and 2. Let's take a look at it again, because as they head down and in there, there's contact right there. Just kind of gets into that back bumper, jacks up the 49 ride, knocks it loose as he's sideways on the racetrack. He knows he wants to either try to get a spot back or try to at least save some sort of positions, and stops there on the speedway for the 304 routes. Number 49 ride of Whaley. Caution flag will be displayed, and that will put us under our, I don't even know what we're at now, our 6th, 7th yellow flag. I don't know why SDK does not want to cooperate with us with the live button here today, as Jordan the Chat says no gobbler for 2025, but that was the year I led 98 laps to get spun by C in a one-lap shootout. Dylan Yeager won it. That's right. That's right. I knew you were there. I knew you were a part of like that finish. And I knew C was in it as well, but that is right. I remember that. Yeah, down into 1 and 2. You got in there, took you out, and then obviously we saw Yeager able to power down and get by both of you and steal the win. Man, that was, those were the glory days, brother. Those were the glory days. Let's bring those nights back. We need to get more shows. We need to get more racing action like that here again on the simulator, man. Man, we miss those days, man. Lots of money races, lots of obviously high intensity and a little bit of hatred. There was obviously the rivalry between a lot of these guys, and man, it was a heck of a show. Bash says, what league is this? How can I join? Unfortunately, Bash, this is an invite-only league. This is an invite-only league. A few times a year they do open races that you can try to join. Or I think Monday nights they maybe do some open racing or whatever. You can look up in the I don't know if their Discord is invite only as well. See here, yeah, it's invite as well. So unfortunately, you'd have to go to the Dirt Warrior Racing League on Facebook. You'd have to go to their Facebook page and ask to join or get the Discord information there, and then obviously you'd have to run. I think they have a minimum of at least 3 or 4 races that you have to run with these guys as they are, before their season. Now that the season has already started, I don't think they're going to add any more or additional drivers here to the roster, so you'd have to kind of run their Monday nights, which is their fun run night, try to make a good impression, run good, run nice with them, and then maybe come next season, you may get that invite into the series. Monday night test and tune, yeah, that's the way to probably do it. You're probably going to have to run for, a couple months with them kind of deal, and try and hopefully get the opportunity to run here in the Wednesday night street fights, which is their crown jewel, their creme de la creme here of the series. Out in front, though, T-Jack continues to hold down the top spot. Philip Sexton sits in second with Will Hargraves there in third. Great run going here for Hargraves. He was able to pick up 4 spots there fairly quickly here this evening as he sits in that third position. It's Jacob Stefanski back in fourth. J.C. Floyd, one of those gobbler drivers year after year, right up there in the mix, right in the hunt here this evening as he rolls in 5th, and our current points leader in the series, they're in that 6th position. Ricky Russell, our pole sitter, back in 7th with Jeremy Vaughn with a great run here, sits back in about that 8th spot, but rolling the outside lane, trying to get around Ricky Russell for position number 7. Cameron Stefanski rounds at our top 9, and rounding out our top 10 is the 33 of James Ellington, as he's in a battle here himself with Jeremy Akins for that 10th position. Ryan Howard, Evan Stefanski, Dylan Simmons, and it is the number 13 Evan Monaghan, our top 15 out there on the racetrack. Chris Parada back in 16th. We saw Jordan LaFon just upside down and on his lid not too long ago, but he sits in that 17th spot with Jim Revis, the grumpy old man himself, there in that 18th spot. He's got Tyrell rolling to his outside as the J&T Racing number 2 Ryan rolls there in now the 19th, 18th position here in this battle for those positions is Dakota Pratt rounding at our top 20. Right there behind him, Tim Taylor. Back there in 21st with Chad Puderbo, Cody Ernest, Jackie Whaley in 24th, Bryson Collins back in 25th, and Jacob Sexton down and out of this race since lap number 21. Looks like he may have ran into PC problems again, or potentially internet issues here. We know last week he ran into an early race issue of PC problems. Jacob Sexton, man, that is a heartbreaker for him. Having some PC problems the last few weeks, man, this is going to suck for him here in this one. As Jordan says, prime iRacing era. That's when you could pocket like $5K in a year in Dirt Street stocks. Yeah, that was absolutely insane, man. That was absolutely insane. That was, that was absolute. The best times, man, the best times. So much money was going into it, so many great leagues, so many great sponsors, man, and the dirt community was just absolutely thriving, and it was so much fun, even with the rivalries and some of the heated conversations and the heated action out there, man. Oh, man, it made officials so much fun. It made, each and every single broadcast so much fun, going through all those rivalries and, who may not like somebody or who owes somebody one back. Man, it was so much fun. 101, Sexton sounded went out. Sounded went out. The sound went out, like in his race car, or like in his PC went out? That's interesting one, as we do see the caution flag come out here in this one. Unfortunately, the 88 ride of Cody Ernest start falling back here quite a bit, and for the 88 ride, gets up into the outside fence right there. Looks like he's got some right front damage already, and obviously trying to get this thing down pit side, makes a hard right-hand turn to get it down pit road, and I think iRacing just throws that caution flag for the 88 going down pit road there, and they thought he was just sideways on the racetrack. He wasn't sideways, he was pitting down there, and obviously here at Lucas Oil, a lot of times they don't make great calls with that. So obviously the car pulling up into pit lane sometimes will throw that yellow flag. So looks like he's taking his car down and out of this race, and for the 88 ride, he'll join Jacob Sexton, now the first 2 drivers out of this feature event. As yes, what PeaceMaker is saying is correct. Yes, absolutely. He says, sounds good. Thank you, sir. Gonna see if I can make it in. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Bash. That's what we like to hear right there. Lon Frank says, all the exploits out front, chaos in the back, but a weekly race with the people in the middle would be very fun. Yes, couldn't hear his car anymore. Oh, man, that's so weird, man. Why does he keep running into PC issues? That's a heartbreaker for the young lad. Had such a hot start to the series, and obviously now the last couple weeks running into some of those issues, just technical problems. Definitely sucks for him. It's out in front. It is Tyler Jackson who holds on to the race lead. It's Philip Sexton who's trying to hold on to second here, as Will Hargraves trying to jump up into position number 3. As here comes Jacob Stefanski, J.C. Floyd. They're in 4th and 5th with Jeremy Sexton right there in that 6th position, just lurking in the weeds here. You got to know that 2020 Ryan's probably trying to save a little bit of tire here, waiting later in this race to try to gain some of these spots. Maybe try to work his way up here to the point, because he's going to be looking to minimize the damage here. If T-Jack can win this race, he needs to try to stay as close as he can to that 8 ride to minimize the points loss here, and letting Tyler Jackson potentially close in his 25-point lead here in the point standings. So for Tyler Jackson, he's just doing everything he can, trying to earn as many bonus points as he can. Is look out, there's contact, they're beating and banging back there behind him, and a bunch of these drivers all of a sudden got jammed up, starting with the 4X ride of Ryan Howard. He ends up with some pretty solid rear end damage, but you saw the 33 machine of I do believe that was Dylan Simmons losing that front bumper here. He's got damage on the 33. He's looking to try to get this thing down pit side. Ricky Russell's trying to get by him. Ricky's trying to hang on to his race car. He almost goes around right there himself. Luckily enough, hangs on to it. And for our race leader, he's going to see in that. He's seeing the 21 getting loose. He saw the 33 get up and off the track. He's just trying to make sure that he can get through some of the chaos and carnage here. He's got himself a good, 4 or 5 car length gap now between himself and Philip Sexton, that he's just kind of on cruise control here. He's got 30 laps of racing action left to go to try to put himself up and into victory lane here at Lucas Oil Speedway. As T-Jack out in front, Sexton rolls in second. Then we see Hargraves. Obviously, J.C. Floyd has worked his way now around that number 23 of Jacob Stefanski for that fourth position. So the Get a Bumper Motorsports, Cocky Floyd Consulting, EJR, number 18 Ryan, trying to work his way up towards the front here, but they're starting to run out of time in a quick hurry as Jacob Stefanski still holding on to the top 5. Jeremy Sexton back there in that 6th position. If he is saving tire, if he's trying to just kind of roll and cruise here in the 6th position, when is it go time? When does he put the throttle down? Does he try to run a little longer here? Does he wait until, maybe gets lucky with the caution flag? You don't want to wait too long where, maybe Tyler Jackson or the rest of our top 3 get too far out and away from you that you can't catch them and you don't have enough time to reel them in with the better tires. So he's kind of getting into that area now where you either got to start going or you got to just hope that you catch a caution flag here. And he's going to start to see to right. It looks like it's go time for Cameron Stefanski as Cameron will reel it into his back bumper here, starting to put a little bit of pressure on Jeremy Sexton for position number 6. Vaughn's right there behind him in that 8th position as James Ellington and Evan Monaghan now battle door to door for position number 9 and 10 on the racetrack. Evan Stefanski's right there as well as the 22, the Sunrise Racing Machine, trying to jump up inside the top 10 on the racetrack. We'll see if he can slice and dice his way around Ellington or Monaghan here, with only about 24 laps, about to be 23 laps next time by the start finish line here in this feature event. We saw LaFawn up in the air down and out of corner number 4 not too long ago, and for the 144 LaFawn, he's worked his way from the rear of the field back up inside the top 12. So LaFawn showing that he's still got some pretty good speed after getting this car repaired and back out there onto the racetrack, and here he is just trying to navigate his way back up towards the front slowly but surely. Jeremy Akins, Jim Revis, our top 14 with Dakota Proud in that white knuckle setup shop number 19 machine there in the 15th spot. Chad Puderbo rolls back there in 16th, Jackie Whaley in 17th, and then we do see Tim Taylor, Ty Ralph, and Ryan Howard rounding out our top 20. Chris Pirata back in 21st, Bryson Collins there in 22nd. Ricky Russell, our pole sitter, unfortunately now a lap down. He's the first driver a lap down now out on the racetrack, scored back in that 23rd position as Dylan Simmons has taken his car down and out of this race. Obviously, so has Cody Ernest and Jacob Sexton. So we started with 26. We're down to 23, still rolling. 22 on the lead lap here this evening. And for Tyler Jackson, he's opened up about a 1.5 second gap here between himself and Philip Sexton. He's got a little lap traffic there as Philip's still trying to work his way around Ricky Russell as the 20 ride rolls the inside lane. The 21's on the outside, just has not quite been able to pull around this 21, and that could unfortunately hurt him here. That could chew up a little bit of time, but it looks like down out of corner number 4. Renke gets up the track there a little too far, allows the 20 ride to get on by. Now Will Hargraves, he's going to hopefully try to clear that 21 as quickly as possible as well. Does not want to get hung up, does not want to have to deal with having that lap traffic there to your outside. Nerve-wracking times, just trying to not to get, into a little bit of contact, or if he runs into an issue, potentially he could have got tore up or taken out of this race as well, as you do see. Here comes J.C. Floyd, here comes Jacob Stefanski. They're looking to jump up here as well. Jacob's all over the back bumper here of J.C. Floyd. J.C. just trying to hang on, looks like, now to that 4th position. Obviously, he battled hard here, picked up 6 positions rather quickly out there on the racetrack, and maybe pushed a little too hard, a little too soon, and maybe starting to pay the price here. Tires maybe starting to fall away there for the 18 ride as our points leader, Jeremy Sexton, back there in 6th. He still has Cameron Stefanski right there with them as they all still work around that 21 of Ricky Russell, but out in front, just continuing to try to pull farther and farther away, is this 8 ride of Tyler Jackson. And for T-Jack, I think the mission is now for this DWR machine is just trying to click these laps off as quickly as possible. Try to get to that white flag. Hopefully don't see a caution flag because there's only a couple handfuls of laps left to go here as the next time by the start finish line. it's going to be 13 laps left to go here for this 8 machine. 13 laps. You need to basically run 12 before you know that this one is going to be in the history books here, and no late race caution flag is going to potentially hinder his chances here this evening, but he's got to get there first, and he's just trying to get there as quickly as possible. So I think if he was saving any tires, if he had anything left over, looks like he is using it right now to his advantage, pulling away from Philip Sexton. The gap is now about 1.8 seconds between first and second down and out of the east corner. So 1.8 seconds between Tyler Jackson and Philip Sexton here. And for T-Jack, he's just on a cruise here this afternoon, trying to find victory lane again this afternoon in the Dirt Warrior Racing League. Is Philip still trying to hunt him down? And obviously Will Hargraves, great run here for Will, rolling there in that third position, as we do see Bryson Collins. Like he made some contact here. I'm not sure if he's stuck in this car. Yeah, there it is, down pit road and off the racetrack. So Bryson does have some issues. He takes his car down pit road and off the speedway. Luckily enough, no caution flag, but there are elbows up racing all over the racetrack still. And at any moment in time, one wrong bump, one wrong move could bring that caution flag out, and that could really put that 8 run of Tyler Jackson into a world of heat. If there's drivers back behind them that are still saving, that may still have a little extra in their back pocket compared to his car, he could be a sitting duck here late in this race with a late race restart, as the 8 machine of T-Jack, he's just trying to get himself through here, trying to work his way around some of this lap traffic as he sees it now in front of him. I believe this is the 27 rider, Chris Parada, next driver up to potentially lose a lap out there on the speedway. Gap still about that 1.8, 1.9 seconds between himself and Philip Sexton, so he hasn't lost any, really hasn't gained any, so we'll have to wait and see if he's just trying to manage that gap now. It's a big enough gap. He doesn't have to completely run away with it. He's got to have it in the back of his mind, and he's got to expect that there may be another yellow flag, and there might be one. I don't know why we haven't seen a caution flag as of yet. Normally iRacing would have quickly thrown that yellow flag out, but we see the 18 ride of J.C. Floyd. Looks like contact between him and Jacob Stefanski right there. Not a lot, just a little bit, and it just shoves the nose of this 18 right up the racetrack. Ends up hard contact into the outside fence, and unfortunately looks like his night is going to be done. As you know, man, that's a tough break right there for the 18 ride, having such a good run, good race out there on the speedway. Now back behind the 8 ball. Let's try to get back up to the live feed here. Apparently that was a long time. There we go. All right, we're back to the live feed, and for Tyler Jackson, he sits out in front, still about that 2-second gap, still trying to work around this number 27 ride, but I feel like he's pretty comfy if he just stays right here behind him. He still has about 2 seconds between himself and Philip Sexton. They're just hoping not to see a caution flag here. If you're Philip or Will Hargraves or any of these other drivers, you probably want to see that caution flag fly, but as of right now, no yellow flags and only 3 laps left to go down in through corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. And for the Dirt Warrior Racing League, number 8 of Tyler Jackson, you'll see 2 laps left to go. So 2 more laps left to go here from Lucas Oil Speedway. T-Jack, man on a mission here this evening. He was, started in that 3rd position, jumped to the race lead on lap number 1. He's been that reflection of perfection ever since then. He's led every single lap, and he sees that white flag fly. Just cannot have an issue, cannot make a mistake here on this final lap. 2-second gap. He can set it on cruise control for the final time. Down through 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. It is Tyler Jackson who will pick up the checkered flag here at Lucas Oil Speedway. T-Jack picks up the dub, and well, normally we see him down the front straightaway celebrating, but looks like he's going to take it to the scales. Okay, so admin call, they say take it to the scales. Let's make sure he gets the green light. He's going to look for the thumbs up. We'll have to wait and see if the officials make that call as he's down pit road, getting this car scaled in. We'll see if he joins us on the front straightaway here in just a little bit for post-race interviews. But, man, what a run. What a race right there for Tyler Jackson as T-Jack picks up the win here this evening. Philip Sexton and Will Hargraves rounding out our top 3. Jacob Stefanski, Jeremy Sexton, our top 5, with Cameron Stefanski, Evan Monaghan, Jordan LaFawn. What a comeback for Jordan LaFawn to jump up into 8th here late in this race, man. What a rebound for the 144. Jeremy Vaughn back in 9th, solid top 10 run again for Jeremy, and James Ellington rounding out our top 10 here this evening with Evan Stefanski, Jim Revis, Jeremy Akins, Dakota Proud, and Ty Ralph rounding out our top 15 here this evening. But we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already and you guys enjoyed that racing action, make sure you guys hit the like button for us right now. Hit that subscribe button, become part of the PeaceMaker family here today. And make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go green flag racing here on PeaceMaker Gaming, as we'll look to pull our race winner, Tyler Jackson, up and into the broadcast booth. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy? Okay, T-Jack always has problems with that. Let's see if we can pull him in there. Hey, T-Jack, it's Aaron up here in the booth. Do you get a copy? Hey, Tyler, you got a copy?
Hey, Aaron.
Ah, there we go. All right, perfect. T-Jack, man, what a run, what a race for you here tonight, as early on obviously did not take you long here in your heat race. You were able to fend off your teammate Will Hargraves there. You pick up your heat race win, which is, you know, a good sign to see, because you've had really bad pill draws. You have not had the starts you've wanted all season long, but here tonight you get blessed by the pill draw lady. You start in the pole in your heat race, jump out in front, you lead all 10 laps, you lock yourself into the show, you start this feature event in that 3rd position, and in the opening lap, you're able to get around Ricky Russell and that 49 of Jackie Whaley to jump out in front, and ever since then, you're able to lead all 70 laps of this feature event. You're the reflection of perfection here all evening long as you pull that Selena 52 truck stop number 8 machine up and into victory lane here at Lucas Oil Speedway, man. Take us back through this one and what's going through your mind after, you know, what was virtually a perfect night here at the Speedway.
Yeah, it really didn't go as smooth as you probably think. Got loaded in the session. Everything was working good. Ran upstairs, used the bathroom, came down, and my VR headset was blacked out. And then had to exit the server, restart it, didn't work. Restart the computer, didn't work. Pull the cables out, didn't work. Got re-registered to the server, came in, still wasn't working, so I wasn't gonna run until heat 3. Left again, and then finally had to almost make a decision if I was just gonna run on a single monitor, and I knew that'd be garbage. That happened to me a couple years ago, and I ran dead last and lost by half a lap. So finally got back in, and then my VR was working, but it was tracking backwards. So it did this to me a couple weeks ago. If I looked left, the track would go right. If I looked up, it would go down. So that entire heat race, you just have to keep your head completely still and just move your eyeballs. Otherwise, you'll get completely thrown out of whack. It's really messes with your equilibrium. So yeah, if we didn't start on the pole and we were side by side with guys, we probably would have wrecked, or I probably wouldn't even started the race. But yeah, put it in there and ran on 6-1. Didn't even know I was on 6-1, and didn't know if I was chopping William or who was behind me. I never looked at my relative. I couldn't look down at my relative because it would make the VR look at the ceiling of the car. So yeah, I got out of that immediately. Went back and started messing with it. Reset it a few more times. Nothing happened, and finally unplugged the cables, and the cables seemed to unplugged work. So we got loaded back in, and yeah, from then on, I mean, I didn't think we were gonna make the race tonight, and I know there's a drop week, but we've already dug ourselves a little bit of a hole in the points, which it's crazy how good we've ran, but it's just, the bonus points were killing us. And yeah, really lucky to draw a 1. I mean, it couldn't have been a better night to draw a 1, because if we would have drawn a 3, we would have wrecked in the race, and we would have probably caused a bunch of problems for a lot of people. So really lucky we started on the pole, and then yeah, that feature was just get to the front as soon as I could, and then as soon as we got to the front, it was about trying to lay down the fastest lap I could there. The track's only good for maybe 3, 4 laps usually, so we ended up hitting that on lap 3 or 4, and led the most laps and didn't let Jeremy get any bonus points. So I don't think I could have scored any more points tonight. It was a lucky night and a perfect night.
Yeah, absolutely perfect night, a great night of racing action, and obviously being able to get those bonus points. We talked earlier in the evening about obviously that points differential between you and Jeremy coming into this race. 25 points. It doesn't seem like a lot, but really it can add up, and it can be a tough hill to climb back from here late in the season. And here tonight, you got the run that you needed. Obviously, being able to get the bonus points, being able to lead the most laps, the quickest lap, and obviously winning this race, winning your heat race with Jeremy finishing fourth in the heat and fifth here in this feature event. That's going to draw you a whole lot closer here to his back bumper, starting to put that pressure onto him again for this championship and trying to win it back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, coming into the night, he had me. I think he was 18-2 maybe on bonus points, or 16-2, whatever it was. It was a lot. And yeah, we got all 9 bonus points tonight in the feature, which is really good. That'll go a long way. And then the heat race, those points are actually calculated in, so we don't technically call them bonus points, but you need those too. And this was my first heat win of the season. Had a couple just not really not bad heat races. Just if you're getting third or fourth in one of these, and you're starting 12th or whatever in the race, it makes it hard to win. These races are not easy to win. I mean, really, you don't want to be outside probably the top 5 or 6 if you're looking at winning one of these things. There's a lot of good guys in here, and a lot of guys that can run out front in clean air. That you wouldn't think can run well. Compared to when they're in a pack. But some guys will just set sail on you. So I didn't know much about the pole sitter. I just figured I didn't know his name, so it kind of made me nervous. But I figured as soon as we could get him, we'd get him. And luckily, he slid in a little hot in turn 1, and we dove underneath him.
Yeah, absolutely drove underneath of them, got a 2-for-1 deal, basically down through 1 and 2, and then led us down through 3 and 4 and back to the line. And ever since then, you never looked back. But obviously, a lot of big restarts there early on, a lot of caution flags you had to deal with. Obviously, having Jackie Whaley your back bumper and Philip Sexton and so many other of these fast cats were getting a little bit nervous there with all these yellows that one of these drivers may be able to put the power down and try to steal that top spot away from you and take that clean air off your front bumper.
Yeah, I didn't like seeing Philip behind me, to be honest, because we had our little dust up a couple weeks ago, and even another league, I kind of knocked him out of the way for a win prior to that. So he probably owes me one. I was trying not to let him get close to me at all and be able to rub me and take any bonus points from us or anything. But didn't really know where to run. I just stayed on the bottom and was just watching the relative, and then I thought it might go the top, but I didn't see the risk versus reward where we were sitting. If you put a right rear over that cushion, you're on the flat, you're going to lose wholesale spots. So yeah, good points tonight. The slider line is, I think it's easy to run. I mean, you don't have to really hit your marks on the bottom and the top. You just kind of float in there, and I can't believe it worked. Monday night we ran a race here and it didn't work at all. So it worked, and we just kept watching the relative grow. And yeah, some of those lap guys, man, I didn't cut me much of a break there, but they did a good job, running the same line and not really moving around. But yeah, that last guy, I was hoping he'd get out of the way, but he was hauling ass.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, it ended up making for a very exciting show, obviously, with those restarts, with, so many fast cats around you here this evening. And somehow or another, as the dust settles here at Lucas Oil Speedway, you're able to pick up your second feature win now on the season. You draw the points in a little tighter, that Jeremy Saxton. So mission accomplished here on the evening, T Jack. And we'd like to thank for another great run and great show out there on the Speedway.
Yeah, thanks to you as always for the broadcast. Looking forward to watching it. Jim for putting the league on. My parents, family watching. Josh Patterson for this awesome looking Selena 52 wrap. I don't know if it's Selena or Selena. I'm not sure, but yeah, we got a cool little deal with them, and he's doing pretty cool things on the internet and getting a lot of views. And I don't know if he might be doing that full time now. He's got to run the Weber Valley and the truck stop and the diner. He's got his hands full. So that was cool. He's on board, and I'm glad to get him a win. And yeah, man, I just hats off to Jeremy because Jeremy's got me. He's got me practicing. I've never really been a guy to practice, and we've been practicing hard. Um, all season really. I've been putting a lot of practice in, running a lot more than I normally do. This is the fifth race of the week for me. Ran one Sunday, Monday, and two last night, and luckily we had a clean sweep of all five of them. So we're getting better, and when guys come out here and give you hard competition, you can do one or two things. You can get better, or you can get past. So we're trying to get better.
Absolutely. Well, here tonight, you didn't get past once, and definitely didn't look like you had to get too much better here this evening as you parked that 8 ride up and into victory lane here at Lucas Oil Speedway. T-Jack, congrats on the great run. Congrats on the great race. And we can't wait to see you back out there next Wednesday and potentially see you right back up here in victory lane.
All right. Congrats to the top three as well. Have a good night.
You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Tyler Jackson. T-Jack picks up the dub here this evening, man. What a run, what a drive, what a performance for that number 8 machine. Man, what a run, what a performance for T-Jack, man. Now, we did have Philip Sexton not too long ago in the waiting room. We'll have to wait and see if he does jump back in here. We'll see if he gets into the action and up here into the booth. I haven't seen him hop in here yet again, so we'll wait a little bit and see if we can get Philip up here. I do know we do have our third place driver, Will Hargrave, still in the Discord. I don't know if I can drag him out of the private room, though. Yeah, they're in the owner's room right now, so I can't pull Will in here either. So we're kind of at a stalemate. We need Will and Philip to get into the waiting room, give them their post-race interviews. There's Will. Okay, so Will's jumped in here. Gonna wait and see if we can get Philip back in here as well. But for now, we'll pull in our third place finisher, Mr. Will Hargraves. Hey, Will, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Hey, Aaron, I got you, man.
Well, man, heck of a run. Great drive for you here this afternoon. Obviously, a pretty strong heat race right there. You're kind of all over the back bumper of Tyler Jackson for a little bit there. Thought you were going to maybe steal that heat race win away from him, but I think once or twice he kind of got into him, maybe got a little bit nervous there and didn't want to take both of you guys out of, transfer spots into the show here, so you settled in for a second place finish there, and that means you get to start 7th place here for this A-Main feature event, and you quickly work your way up into the top 5. You battle your way up here into that 3rd position after there was contact between Philip Sexton and Jackie Whaley, and then pretty much after that final caution flag, you just sat there and worked on the back bumper and trying to get underneath of Philip Sexton here for position number 2, but just never could quite get the run that you needed to get back around him, but you never gave up another spot as you come home with a very solid top 3 run.
Yeah, for sure. 3rd place in here in this league is pretty good, especially for me. I don't know, it's been so hard to get good finishes and stuff, and it finally starting to get a little bit more smooth or lucky or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, like I said, it's so hard to pass on a track like that as well. And I just kind of, I was like, I'm not going to change my line. I couldn't really, I didn't really have anything extra for Philip for sure. I mean, it's so hard to pass, like I say, and so I just kind of kept trying to ride the tires as best as I could and maybe save a little tire and maybe hope for a late race caution, but one never came, and that's all right too. I was fine with that to finish 3rd. Like I said, in this group of guys, I'll take it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were trying to hug those tires. You were trying to save a little tire there. Do you think you would have had something late in this race for Philip and T-Jack here if you got that late race yellow? And when would you needed it to really have enough time to try to navigate your way around those two?
Yeah, I probably didn't have anything for him, to be honest. Like I said, with the track state the way it was, it would have took a little luck, and maybe an error or something for it to happen. Honestly, it's just one of those types of racetracks, and nights like that happen, and then you get nights where I was waiting and waiting and waiting in that race for somebody to pass me on the top, just thinking, I'm like, I felt like I was going so slow on the bottom, but it just didn't happen. So it's like I said, I mean, I don't know how the track states work on iRacing and whatever, but you get something different all the time, and a little variation different. And we ran this track Monday, and this track wasn't anything like this, but we also had less cars. So it's like I say, I don't know how it all works out for them and how they do it, but you're always getting something different. So you always gotta just try to do what you can. And like I said, I knew I didn't have anything extra to win it for sure. T-Jack's been on fire, and he's just so fast, and Philip's fast. Everybody's fast, and just ride it out and try to get consistent finishes. And we maybe are starting to at least get a little bit more consistent. Be nice to get a win one of these days. I kind of forgot what that's like, but we might get there again.
Hey, I got no doubt about it, brother. I'm sure one of these nights will get you back up here into victory lane. But at least here tonight, man, step in the right direction again with another podium finish. And you said, it's tough to get good finishes. It's tough to have good races. But as we take a look at the point standings after Cedar Lake, I mean, you're sitting third here in the points. You gained a little bit on the points leader, Jeremy Sexton, as he was back there behind you in the heat race and this feature event. And you also, Jacob Sexton. He left the race after about 21 laps. Stefanski's back there behind you, so you kind of pull a little farther away from the drivers behind you. You kind of draw a little bit closer to Jeremy, but T-Jack got a little bit farther away from you here in this one as well. So you kind of stuck in a little bit of a no man's lane where you got a nice cushion between the cars behind you, but still a pretty decent gap between you and the top two here in the point standings. But I mean, good runs or not, man, you're sitting third in points, and anything can happen. One of these nights, internet cutout or a PC issue like T-Jack was having earlier in the evening that could potentially bring you right back into the battle here for that championship.
Man, you ain't joking there. A couple motor failures for them guys, and we'll be all right. No, but no, they're two of the elites for sure, leading the points, and don't know if you'll be able to catch them. They're definitely gonna have to make mistakes or have bad luck or something. But I mean, that can happen to anybody any given night. So that's all part of racing. And like I said, I mean, it's gonna be that'd be a tough task to be able to get ahead of them too. But I'm just having fun with it, honestly. And wherever we run, and wherever we finish in points, we finish. But I want to thank everybody for all the racers and doing their part and trying to put on good, clean racing for the broadcast and for everybody and making it fun for all the racers and people that watch and support the broadcast as well. I got to give a big thanks to you, Aaron, too, for doing a kick-ass broadcast like you always do. A special big thanks to Jim for all he does for the league and painting cars and everything, all the headaches that nobody has to deal with or see, that time and effort that he puts into it all. It it takes a lot of work and effort, and he runs a tight ship, and that's why we get the racing we get here, boys. I don't know how else to say it, but you watch a lot of other leagues, and you don't, it's not like this. People slamming and banging each other out of the way or whatever the case is, and you know, Jim's got this down to a science. He knows what he wants to see, and if he's not seeing it, he will see it eventually for sure, and it won't take him long to see it. So that's what I love about this. It ain't just going out there and bonsai and thinking you're playing a video game, and where a lot of times it is for people in other leagues or however it works out. But big thanks to everybody, and like I said, congrats to Tyler, congrats to Philip and Jeremy. Good run. I finally beat Jeremy tonight. That was kind of a first, I guess. Them two have won about every race there is. So yeah, good racing to everybody, and thanks a lot for having me in the broadcast. Peace.
Absolutely, brother. Always my pleasure, Will. Congrats on a great third place run. And said earlier, man, hopefully we get you back up here into the booth and back up into victory lane where we're kind of used to seeing that 71 for so many races, being able to find victory lane. Man, we can't wait to see you get back into your winning ways and back up there in the top spot. And hopefully next week will maybe be the night. Maybe we'll get you back up here in the booth first and up and into victory lane.
Yeah, that'd be nice, man. But I tell you what, not this week, but last week I started on a pole, I think, in the heat race, and I went backwards. So that's what I'm saying. You just never know, you know? It's just everybody's good in here, so it's not you don't just go out and just win. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They do not come easy. That is for certain. And next week at Eldora, it's going to be another one of those tracks that could be multi-lane for a lot of it. Could be single file, kind of follow the leader there late in the race when it gets super slicked off. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. See if you're in line and in position to take advantage of it, man. We can't wait to see you back out there though, and hope to see you right back up here into the booth. Will, congrats on the third place run, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Hey, thanks, buddy. We'll see you next week at Eldora.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Will Hargraves. Will comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Now, I still haven't seen Philip Sexton jump back into the Discord booth, so I'm not sure if he's going to jump in here or not, so can't quite pull him in yet. But for the 20 ride, we did see him in there for a little bit when we were interviewing T-Jack. I don't know if maybe he ran into PC issues or internet issues, or maybe he had something that he had to go and do, so we're not going to hold him accountable for that one. He was in there, and maybe just a little longer of an interview with T-Jack, so we're not going to hold him up for that one. But solid run there for Philip Sexton. I'm sure he'd love to thank all the guys there in the pound and with his Sexton Paint and Body crew, the Conky Floyd Consulting guys, man. Phil, hard competitor, great competitor out there on the racetrack, and a great run here tonight, putting that 20 ride up and into position number 2 here this evening, man. What a show, what a race, what a performance, man. These guys put on a lot of excitement, man, a lot of great racing action, a lot of drivers coming from deep in the field up towards the front here. We saw Evan Monaghan up 18 positions, the finish in 7th. We saw Jordan LaFawn go upside down on one of those restarts early in the race. He battled his way back up through the field for a top 10 run. I mean, Jeremy Vaughn's right up there with another top 10 finish. The grumpy old man himself, Mr. Jim Revis in the Dirt Warrior Racing League. Grumpy Graphics number 57 back there in 12th, man. Lots of great storylines up and down throughout the field, and we can't wait to see what the Dirt Warrior Racing League and all these amazing drivers have in store for us again next Wednesday night. We can't wait to see all of you guys back up in the broadcast booth and watching and cheering these guys on from the grandstands here next Wednesday with the Dirt Warrior Racing League. And hopefully we'll see you guys back in here as well tomorrow night. We're back to racing action with our Hypershift Racing League for their, I believe, their Clash tomorrow night. So their first race of the season, their Clash. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great show, and we're super happy to have the HRL League back in action on Thursday nights here, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we see all of you guys back in the grandstands watching and cheering those guys on as well, or even just coming in to say hello, hitting the like button, dropping a comment or two for us in the broadcast to help it out and help it grow more and more and more, to bring the fans in the stands and to show the love out there every single night, because we're live every single night, man. We're up here in the booth, we're working our butts off and bringing you guys some amazing racing action night after night after night. We can't wait to see you guys back out there, hopefully right back in the grandstands tomorrow evening. But thank y'all for watching, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all back here in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night.
Sun sinking low on a workday sky, but there's a hellfire looking every drive. that's right foot heavy. He's searching on the high side, looking for some grip. One wrong move and he's gonna let it slip. He's leaning on the cushion, bouncing off the wall. You gotta have the guts if you're gonna have it all. Let the sparks fly high, let the header scream. Everything you got for that dirt track dream. It's a Wednesday night street fight. Hammer on the gas, tailing out and screaming, looking for the pass. From the green flag drop to the checkered flags waving. It's a Wednesday night war and the dirt we're craving. No points for pretty, no room for grace. Just a bit of bumper and a killer pace. Yeah, we're living for the slide and the engine roar. Wednesday night street fights. Give us some more. Hands on the wheel, white knuckle grip, keep the nose tucked in, don't let it slip. Riding the berm, a catfish in the bottom. Find a gap and you know we got her. Wash off the mud, fix the bent up tin, just to turn around and do it all again. It's midweek mayhem underneath the lights, chasing down the checker through these dirt track nights.